On the 35th episode, we're going to talk about how the spring training is underway, the NFL is increasing their salary cap, Jokic with an unknown amazing achievement, and we're going to end it off with some Hall of Fame, yay or nay. Roll it.
It's the podcast of all time.
So you guys want to talk about that? Introducing your hosts, Isaiah
and Micah, bringing you a special guest every episode. We are the HatTrick Sports Podcast.
All right, so today's special guest, we have Russ Lemon. Here you go, Russ. You want to kind of introduce yourself?
I'm Russ Lemon. I publish a weekly newsletter here in Vero Beach, and it's called Lemon Lines.
Make sure you check out Lemon Lines if you live in the area. Anything else you want to tell the viewers, or?
No, just I'm a big Stratomatic baseball player. I don't know if any of your audience knows Stratomatic baseball. It's kind of old school, but it's kind of it's a lot of fun. A lot of math.
Mathematician.
Yeah.
All right, so
your dad gave it a try for a couple of years.
I remember watching him do that.
Yeah.
You want to just get started with some baseball?
Sure.
MLB. All right, so let's just start off with we talked about this last episode a little bit. The uniforms, players and fans aren't very excited about them. Have you heard about this?
Well, I've heard about it, but I wonder if that's just a news story for the sake of a news story.
Well, the pants are see-through, so.
So, yeah, have you seen that? So Shohei's and all Dodgers are players that wear white uniforms. They're transparent, so like they could see their the end of the shirt, like their underwear and stuff. So that's not great for media or the players. And then I have some quotes here. This is not from me, but players and fans hate them. Transparent uniforms show shirt tails and undergarments very visible. Players hate reduced custom options for fit. So, like, they don't get to choose their pants, or, like, they can choose it, but it's not as customizable as they were in previous years. The small lettering, I don't really like that just because I just like seeing the names and knowing who they are. Misaligned characters, so the last name, they're not aligned correctly. Cheaper overall look. That's what makes me like MLB is trying to make them look more professional, and these jerseys don't really do that. They're trying to grow, and I don't think this is helping. And then the executive director for the MLBPA, Tony Clark, said, hopefully we get something done over the next 6 weeks before opening day. So that's my little spiel about this. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I really don't have any thoughts because I haven't seen them is the big thing, and it's I wonder if it's as bad as it's being painted.
It's bad.
Yeah, is it?
Especially the pants.
Okay.
You can see the jock strap and everything.
Okay.
So
what do you guys recommend?
I recommend they do what they did last year. I mean, I don't see any problem with the jerseys that they had last year. And Nike was still doing them. Like, it's not like it's...
Isn't the advantage, I read something briefly about it, isn't the advantage that it's stretchable? You know, it's more conducive to...
I think they're trying to make it more lightweight, so players are faster and more comfortable. But I think that players, as I stated here, don't really love the disadvantages more than they like the advantages, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I hope they work it out.
Maybe they will, maybe it won't. I don't think it'll affect the game that much. I just think that it's another bad thing that Rob Manfred has done. And I don't like Rob Manfred as a commissioner. And I just think that this is another reason why we're excited that he's stepping down in 2029.
Well, Rob Manfred doesn't make the jerseys.
He approves of them.
Okay, what's he going to do? Say no and then they have to do everything else while spring training's going?
Yeah.
So what jerseys are they going to wear? If they have no approved jerseys from spring training, what are they going to wear?
I mean, I don't know. As Tony Clark said, that they're hoping to get something finished in the next 6 weeks or so.
Right, because he had to approve something so they could play.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Gio Urshela to the Tigers. This is not that big. I think it's $2 million guarantee, or not $2 million. $2 million is the maximum. He signed $2 million for like a year or two. For 1 year, $1 million, 2 years. Not huge. Do you have anything on that, Micah?
Ever since he left the Yankees, he just hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
And the Angels ruin everyone. They really do.
I just don't think they have the franchise and I don't know if it's the owners. I don't follow the Angels that much. I don't know if it's the owners or coaches, but I think that they just don't do well with good players. And
Yeah, well, obviously.
They had Shohei and Trout.
Couldn't make the playoffs.
Do you have anything on Gio?
No, he's peaked with the Yankees and hadn't been the same since. In Stratomatic, he is a good fielder, though. He's a very good fielder.
Yeah. This is a not a big topic. This is a high guy that is very unfortunate that he got injured. Kodak Senga is supposed to be one of the best Japanese pitchers in the world, and it's unfortunate that he is going to be on the IL to start the season. So he has a moderate posterior capsule strain, which I'm not working in the medical field. I heard it was something to do with joints. I don't know, in his knee. It sounds like it's his knee. Again, I don't work in the medical field. I don't really know what that means. I just know that it has something to do with joints. Have you heard anything on Kodak Senga? No.
No, about his injury? No.
No, but like about the player himself.
I mean, he's really good. He was good last season.
Supposed to be the number one starter.
Yeah.
It's
Last year on the Mets, he was amazing.
He's supposed to be the best Japanese pitcher, well, one of the best.
the Mets are always hard luck when it comes to pitchers. Like last year with Verlander and Scherzer.
Yep.
I mean, they just
They were a waste. Yeah.
They're always a hope with the Mets, but they never come through.
The Mets are a team, in my opinion, that do their best to do good, and they get the players and they pay. They do all the right things. It's just what happens to them is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, again, you can't really choose that to happen. They obviously don't want that to happen. It's just unfortunate. But I kind of feel bad for the Mets that this happens for the last few years. I feel like they've been trying to regrow and it hasn't done anything, and they just wasted all this money.
And it's not like the Mets have a good 5-6 person rotation. They really only have Kodai.
Yeah. And then Tim Anderson. This was very surprising to me.
I didn't think he'd get signed.
He went from the south side of Chicago to the south side of the U.S. He went to the Marlins. Again, I was not expecting that. It's a 1-year, $5 million contract. And when I saw it, I was like, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but the Marlins were the last team that I expect to happen.
I mean, that's overpaid in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Okay.
He had a .245 batting average with 1 home run and 25 RBIs in 123 games.
Maybe they think they could do something with him.
What did he do the 5 years before that, though?
So
You got that's the thing though. The past 2 seasons hasn't been great, but then you look before that, and that's the reason I think he's getting that money.
Yeah, he's a born hitter, that's for sure. But last year he did bomb.
Yeah, he did not do good last year.
I remember during COVID in 2020, 2021 kind of area, baseball cards were really, really popular, and I was selling them on eBay and stuff just to make money at that point. I was 10 years old, whatever. And I remember Tim Anderson's were the highest value cards at that time.
Yeah.
Just because of how good he was doing in that little span, and then he's kind of fallen off since. He was one of the top prospects in the MLB at that point.
Yeah, he's still 29, 30 years old. He's still
30.
young.
Yeah, he's 30.
Yeah.
So if he does good, he still has another 5, 6, 7 years left. But we'll see what he does in Miami. If Miami makes a push, maybe he makes a name for himself again. And if not, maybe he retires in the next 2 or 3 seasons. But you never know. Is that all you have for Tim Anderson?
Yep.
All right, so Mitch Keller extension with the Pirates. All right, so he's getting paid for 5 years, $77 million guaranteed for this 27-year-old right-handed pitcher.
That is the money he deserves. 13-9 with a 4.2 ERA and 210 strikeouts last year.
210 strikeouts?
210 strikeouts.
That's wild.
I'm in a Stratomatic baseball league, and I had Mitch Keller when he was a rookie.
Did you?
And man, he was slow to develop. And now I'm glad to see him turn into an all-star. But it took him years to really get going.
I think he is wildly underrated, in my opinion.
Oh my God. He's one of, if not the most underrated player in the MLB.
I feel like not many people know about him, but I think the $77 million contract will kind of show people hey, I'm an all-star. I can win Cy Young if I really work for it.
Pirates know about him. That's all that really matters.
Do you think the Pirates will make a push this season? Not obviously to the World Series, but potentially playoffs? No?
I don't see it happening. They're in a tough division.
That's for sure. But I don't know. I like that Mitch Keller is finally getting the recognition and pay that he deserves, and we'll see how this goes this season. Rafael Devers calls out his own team for a disappointing offseason.
You got rid of the biggest waste on your team. You got one of the best closers in the MLB, and you got a young good shortstop. What are you complaining about? They got Liam Hendricks, Andrew Vaughn, got rid of Chris Sale. What are you complaining about?
So I kind of agree with Micah here. First of all, Devers, I understand if you got traded or something and now you're bashing the Red Sox. When you're on the team with the Red Sox, don't be bashing your own team, especially when they're trying their best. I mean, obviously they're close to playoff content. Well, not really. Last year, they're in the hardest division in sports, but they're making a push for playoff contention in that division. And you're saying they had a disappointing offseason when they did get guys and cut guys that don't deserve to be on the team. Like Liam Hendricks is one of the biggest pickups in the Red Sox in the last few years.
They have two top 10 closers in the MLB, in my opinion. Kenley Jansen and Liam Hendricks.
Yeah, Devers never speaks out, so this is what makes this so unusual. So I'd like to know the circumstances which you did speak out, because you never hear what he says. He's very quiet.
Very quiet guy. I like to think of him as like the Freddie Freeman of the Red Sox. Again, very quiet. I don't think he has like a whole lot of personal life. He obviously has a personal life, but he doesn't have like kids or anything. But he stays very quiet and chill and just like proves what he can on the baseball field and not by mouth.
With his power.
With his power.
Yeah, but Liam Hendricks, isn't he supposed to be out till next year? I think he is going to have Tommy John surgery, or already has. So he's not even going to pitch this year.
But still, he's one of the best pitchers. I know he's getting old and all that, but he's still one of the best pitchers in the league.
So yeah, they signed. That's why he's getting $2 million this year, and I believe $6 million next year. And then if he gets like certain stats and stuff, he'll get the extra $2 million. But what they're basically paying him this year to do is just stay on the team so they can have him for the following season. Yeah. So he's not going to do anything this season. But I think that they're going to pay. It's basically a 1-year, $10 million contract, except they're kind of spreading it out so he can't sign with another team.
Yeah, and he's going to be 36 next year. I mean, that's only got a few good years left then.
Well, yeah, and what's unfortunate about him is he's the guy that had cancer and came back, so he obviously lost part of his life from baseball due to cancer. Right. But
the thing I like about this 2-year deal is that Kenley has wanted out like from the offseason, and this gives him a season to be good, and the next season they won't they'll trade him or he'll be a free agent. Yeah. And he'll get out like he wants to, and he'll get the money he deserves having this season on his belt. And then next season, the Red Sox can have Liam Hendricks and not need Kenley Jansen.
So what I just saw was that Devers was upset about the offseason because the Red Sox said that they were going to go full throttle, and they did not. In fact, they didn't do too much. I mean, they got the guys, they cut the guys, but the rotation is weak, and they still need more guys to the AL East.
Yeah, they got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's steps. I mean, you got to take the steps before you could get to the top.
Well, they got Theo Epstein involved again, so that's good. He's if anyone can right the ship, it's him. Yep.
So we talked about the Red Sox signing Liam Hendricks. I have a question for you guys. Last year, there were 230, either 239 or 230. Yeah, there were 239 ejections in the MLB season between players, coaches, managers, anybody. I want to ask you guys, how many ejections do you think there'll be this season? Just regular season, no postseason, no spring training. How many ejections do you think there'll be?
More.
So you think, 239 and a half you're going to go over.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you?
I'm going like 267.
267?
Because Aaron Boone, if he doesn't do good this season, he might be gone. And when they start losing, he's going to want to go out and fight for his team because he's not going to have a job if he doesn't.
That's okay. So that's an interesting thing because in 2022, he was ejected 15 times. I believe it was 15. And again, he was just trying to strive his team. That was when Aaron Judge was doing super good, so he's sticking up for his team.
That wasn't when he was fighting for a job, though. Now imagine him needing to fight for a job.
So, yeah, he's going to do everything in his power to make sure his team wins, even if it's for arguing balls and strikes and stuff like that.
Was that a record last year? 237.
230. No, that was not a record.
Not a record?
That's just what it was last season. I feel like last season, players-wise, there wasn't that many ejections. I mean, the Ramirez Anderson. I know if you guys got ejected.
That was. I mean, 2 people got it. Well, three. Class A.
Yeah, I think it was
Class A Ramirez and Anderson.
So, do you remember that Anderson Ramirez fight?
No, I don't.
Sliding into second, yeah. But there'll be a few instances, but I feel like last year there wasn't that many ejections. I feel like in previous years there has been more. But we'll see. I just saw that stat and I was thinking, hey, how many do I think or you guys think there'll be more or less than? I think that there'll be more, not by much. I think maybe around 250, 275. But we'll see. Again, we don't really know what anybody's like now. And then spring training is on its way. It's here. Did the Dodgers win last night? And the Dodgers
They tied 7-7.
Okay, that's what I thought. I kept getting news alerts. The Dodgers have not lost yet.
2-0-1.
2-0-1. Yeah. What's your favorite?
Do you know what their over/under is for regular season?
The Dodgers?
Yeah.
Oh, for the ejections?
No,
For wins.
Oh, 110.
105.
I think it's either 105 or 104.
Yeah,
Jeez.
to have that expectation for a team is crazy, but it's that team. I mean, I'm telling you, it's that team. And once Shohei gets back on the mound, I mean, I say we go 162-0.
You want to know the playoff win over under 2.5?
All right, that's
And
enough
I'm
for me.
taking the under.
But the Dodgers are going to be scary the next couple of years.
Yeah, until playoffs come.
What's your favorite team?
I like them all.
You like them all?
Yeah.
You just-
Marlins. Marlins and Rays, I guess.
Yep, local teams. So yeah, you just like seeing the headlines, the stats, just watching baseball.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I do that with.
I'm not an intense fan like you are.
Yeah.
But with Stratomatic, you got to keep up with what's going on, what players are good.
He's a
and all that
Stratomatic
stuff.
fan. He's fans of his Stratomatic players.
Yes, there you go.
How are the Astros doing this season, Micah?
Good. Won yesterday and got JV. Josh Hader.
This is being filmed on the 25th, Sunday the 25th.
Yeah, we play a doubleheader today against the Mets and Cardinals. Hopefully win both of them. Just seeing what the young guys can do.
Split squad, not doubleheader.
Yeah.
But it'll be. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch baseball. The Yankees won 22-10 against the Tigers on the 24th.
Scored 8 in the 9th.
Yeah, it's runs. It's spring training. I understand pitchers aren't going to be in for more than an inning, potentially 2 maybe. They're just trying to get their players playing time and bring AAA guys up, see if they're any good, and I like that. I just like seeing baseball again. I don't know. Is that all for baseball? Do you guys have anything else?
By the way, I admire you guys. You don't run into many young baseball fans anymore, so it's good to see you have a high level of interest in it.
Yeah, no. People say it's boring, but I feel like if they really understand how the sport's played and I like the business aspect, like the trades and all that, I think that it's the least boring sport there is. But again, if you just look at the surface, it's not that interesting, and I can see why people think that. But NFL, we heard that you were a little bit of an NFL fan too. So this is kind of Micah's topic because Micah's the Steelers fan. Chad Ochocinco, which is now a news analyst, says that Russell Wilson is locked in to go to the Steelers.
I like it, but at the same time, I want a young guy. If he can teach Kenny well, because Kenny doesn't throw a lot of picks, which is I like about him, but if he can teach him to throw for more yards and just get the ball down the field more, I feel like we can have a good team. But if he can't mentor Kenny, this isn't going in the right direction.
Who would you rather have, Justin Fields
I'd
or
have Justin
Russell?
Fields. Justin Fields over Russell Wilson, just because the age. I want a guy that'll stay with us for a while.
Yeah.
And drafting someone like Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, someone like that we can get at our pick without having to trade up.
What about Kenny Pickett? You're giving up on him?
I'm not giving up on him, but I want him to have competition. I want to see how he plays with competition. And Mason Rudolph doesn't count as competition. He did amazing last year, but he's not competition.
So who would you rather have, your current QB, Russell Wilson or Justin? In order, who would you rather have?
To start this season, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett.
All right,
Justin Fields because he can replace Kenny. Russell Wilson because he can mentor Kenny. And then Kenny, he's not bad, but I'd want someone to mentor him more.
All right, so you just think he needs a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
So you would rather have? What about if it was just Russell Wilson and Kenny Pickett, but Russell Wilson starts?
Oh, I would rather Russell Wilson starts.
You would rather Russell
It's
Wilson?
better for the team if he starts, and it'll be better for the future if he can teach Kenny for the future.
So Russell Wilson's obviously not going to go back to the Broncos, in my opinion.
No, he's not.
Because they can't pay him, and he's not going to get any playing time. But we'll see if he goes somewhere, if he retires. I think he'll go somewhere for a couple more seasons. But I think he's towards the end of his career, as I said last year when he was going to the Broncos.
We're just waiting for another Big Ben to come up. We always got these franchise QBs and waiting for one more to come.
We'll see what happens in the draft.
Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick, right?
Yeah, I remember watching that draft. I was supposed to be in bed. I took my phone and I was watching on Yahoo Sports just to see. Sorry, Dad, but I was watching a pick and I saw Kenny Pickett and I thought we were going to take Malik Willis. I was kind of mad that we didn't take Malik, but
he hasn't panned out either.
Well, he hasn't got that much playing time. Also, you can't really judge him yet.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you watched that live.
I didn't watch it live. I was just watching the feed.
So one of the best corners in the Dolphins franchise, Xavier Howard, the Dolphins release him. Is it just because he's not?
He's just Xavier Howard had 1 interception, 12 pass deflections, and 45 total tackles. He's good, but for the money that they're paying him, he's not that good.
Jalen Ramsey seemed to be blaming the defensive coordinator.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. And maybe they'll get rid of their defensive coordinator this offseason.
He's gone.
Oh, he already is. Okay. Yeah. So then perfect. Then have they hired a new one? I mean, I didn't hear that.
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I mean, they have a few months to figure that out. But, yeah, that's interesting. I'm not going to say I was surprised to hear that Xavier Howard left, but I'm not going to say that I was expecting it.
Yeah, his salary was too much to.
He was at a long contract that he just didn't pan out that long.
Speaking of salaries, the NFL salary cap went up $30.6 million. That's quite a bit compared to past seasons. I don't know what just happened there. Oh, here we go.
You can pay a franchise tag now that you couldn't before.
So, did you hear about this salary cap?
Yeah.
So it went up 30.6% this season. Previous seasons it went up 16%. So it fluctuates, which I've never really noticed the salary cap. It's just been a big headline now just because it went up so high. But they can get a franchise player like T. Higgins with the Bengals, just for the salary cap.
Yeah, it makes them more accommodating. But boy, that tells you what kind of shape the Dolphins are in salary wise.
Yeah.
If they've got to cut. They cut that defensive end too. I forget his.
It was like Emmanuel Ogba or something. Like that.
Yeah, they cut him, and those are 2 high salary players, and if they got to cut both those to get under the cap, that's pretty bad.
After they bumped the salary, there's only like 3 or 4 teams still under the salary cap.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So what I dislike, and I mean this more in baseball than football, is I don't like salary caps. I like salary minimums. You have to pay players' salaries as a minimum of $100 million or something. I
don't like that because how are you going to do that? Let's say you're the A's right now. Who are you going to go out and get?
I don't know, but the owners can pay for whoever they want.
You can't pay for a guy on another team.
Well,
if everyone's taken.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. If you got to have a salary cap to keep the playing field level.
But don't you want an owner or as a sports fan? Don't you want owners to be like, hey, we want to win more and more, so we're going to get higher players and we're going to trade.
But not everyone can get hired players. There's only a certain amount of hired players.
But you could trade.
I mean, this is what happened.
Okay, so you're saying trade. What if people are untradeable?
Well, then you can't get them.
Then you can't spend the money that you have to, and what happens?
Yeah. I kind of see the problems.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happened with the Yankees in like the 70s or 60s. They just outspent everybody. And
they won 27 World Series.
Yeah, and so you got to have that cap just to keep things even, so it's competitive.
Yeah,
competitive balance.
Yeah, I understand that. I just feel like, I don't know.
You're just going to have big market teams dominate.
Yep, and I kind of understand that. But anyway, just with the salary cap, that's just a big jump. That's all we really wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about in how 2010 there was no salary cap. and the year before and the year after there were. So I wonder what happened in 2010 that made it uncapped.
Look at the 2012 2010 standings. See who won the Super Bowl and who was leading divisions because of what super teams had to be made from those.
I wonder if there was. I mean, I don't think I could look that up now. If you wanted to talk more about the salary cap, I could kind of look up.
Yeah, 2010 NFL standings. Easily find who was leading. See what teams had the best record.
So the Patriots went 14-2.
Yeah, but that's just because they had Tom Brady and everyone.
Brady and everybody. Doesn't really look like anybody else went super high. The Falcons 13-3.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like there was a super team, but we'll see.
Well, Patriots were always a super team, but that's with or without a salary cap.
What else do we have in NFL news? TJ Watt wants clarity of what will be determined for Defensive Player of the Year after his award was, according to Micah, stolen. All right, Micah, talk about what TJ Watt wants.
He wants them to explain how you win the award.
A rubric? Like a rubric?
A rubric of how you win the award. Because if you lead in everything and you don't win it, you want to know how you didn't win it.
What to do better next season to win this award.
How did he play better and not win it? What do you have to do to win it?
So, Russ, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, to me, I factor in whether a playoff team. You know, the Steelers didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Yeah,
okay.
Both teams were first-round exits.
Okay. So I don't know. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, you can't make it, it's X, and that's going to get you Defensive Player of the Year. It's more, who won it? Myles Garrett?
Yeah. Who had worse stats than Micah Parsons?
Yeah, it's but it's the team. How did the Browns do and all that? And he was the leader of the Browns defense.
It's not Defensive Team of the Year.
Yeah, I know. No, I agree, but T.J. Watt says it's a legacy thing. That's why one reason why he wants that on his resume. But I mean, he's been All Pro 4 times?
Yeah,
that's a big enough legacy.
Yeah. He's hands down a Hall of Famer. He just wants the award just to put it in his trophy case, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe voter fatigue's hitting in because he's just playing better than everyone else. It's kind of like Brady. He didn't win MVP every season because they just stopped giving it to him.
You could say that.
That's what happened, voter fatigue.
So with the salary cap, the Bengals are going to try to franchise tag T. Higgins. Again, I think with this increased salary cap, they are going to try to. All NFL teams will try to franchise multiple players. But do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I wish they could get rid of both of them. As a Steelers fan, obviously, I hate it. But
$22 million for T. So that's
high.
The salary cap increase just paid for it.
Yeah. It's not that they paid for it. They had the ability to pay him. And that's what I kind of dislike about the sports fans. It's like the salary cap didn't pay for these players being franchises. It just allowed owners to pay these and make these players franchise players.
What I would have done is I would have given T. Higgins a bigger contract because you can do that now. They upped the salary cap, so now you can give him a longer contract and you don't have to do this again next year. 'Cause now they have him for one season, but he's not going to want to be there next season without a long-term contract.
Do you have anything else on T. Higgins? No?
I think he's overpaid. $22 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine getting paid $22 million a year to play football.
One of, if not the best number 2 receiver in the league, though. So.
Yeah, that's true. Chiefs side, Matt Araiza. I forgot how to pronounce that. Where did it? I just had it. Oh, here we go. The punter.
Yeah. Played one game and he had like a 70-yard punt.
So is there anything really big on this guy? I mean...
Yeah, he's supposed to be amazing.
Oh, then why did he only punt once last year?
Allegations.
Oh, okay. But he's supposed to be really good?
Yeah.
So they're replacing their punter, who they had for the last 4 years.
Tommy Townsend.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really see how this is... Okay, so he's a good punter. Why is that big news? I mean, every team's going to sign a punter eventually.
It's his backstory.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I just
coming out of college, he was accused of rape somehow, and the charges were eventually dropped. So that allowed him to come back into the league. The Bills, he was drafted by the Bills, and the Bills dropped him.
Okay.
His allegations.
Just because of so he has he has back history and
he's really good.
Yeah, he was a Ray Guy type punter. You guys don't even know who Ray Guy is, do you?
No idea.
He's a guy
Best
that'll
punter of all time.
Oh, okay.
He's a guy that'll change the result of a game because he'll pin you at the 1.
Okay, so
he'll coffin corner
so
you.
he's accurate and he can kick far.
Yeah, he'll coffin corner like 5-6 times a season at least.
Okay, all right. So he's gonna influence games. He's the best punter in the league.
He probably will be.
He
hasn't played in a while.
Yeah,
he hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
But okay. What was I gonna? Oh, so I've been seeing these people. I've been hearing people say in face-to-face conversations that they think that punters are going to, or teams are going to sign punters that aren't just punters for football, but they're going to start signing soccer players that can punt far.
Brandon Aubrey
is an example of that, and other factors in real life that don't directly have an impact towards football, but that they can kick far and accurate, and there's this mathematician who's really good at punting just because he knows how to arc it and how to kick it. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see if punters in the next few years have zero football knowledge but can do that job of just kicking it on the 1 and keeping it on the 1. Yeah. But we'll see. I just keep hearing that and I keep having conversations with people about that. Mm-hmm. Is that all for NFL? Do you have anything else on NFL?
No.
All right, so in the NBA, not a whole lot has happened. Again, it's not the best week for sports. Spring training starting, and that's about it. But Jokic has triple doubles against every team except for his own. Micah, Micah's the Nuggets fan. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think right now I'm not saying he should win MVP, but he's top 2, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, he's definitely top 2. He's the leader to win it. I don't think he should. I think it should be Luka, but he is playing out of his mind, and he has been for pretty much his whole career.
Yeah.
Drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, now dropping triple doubles against every team.
So how many players have done that?
I don't know.
It can't be that many.
I read that he's number 4 all time for triple doubles.
Probably.
Do you know who? Yeah, Westbrook is number 1. You know who's number 2?
Wilt.
No.
Well, Wilt will assist. I never had it. Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, Oscar Robertson. You know who's number 3?
David Robertson.
Nope. A famous player.
All right, so what are we doing? Most triple doubles.
We got Russell Westbrook, number 1.
Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robertson.
Kareem.
Kobe.
Their teammates.
Shaq. No,
it can't be Shaq. Center.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Oh.
No.
Is LeBron?
No, Magic Johnson.
Magic.
Dodgers owner. I should know that.
I definitely should.
So yeah, I guess. So and then.
Sorry, Magic.
Oh yep, somebody said Magic.
Yeah.
So Jokic is up there. I mean, is he in the Hall of Fame already?
Yes.
All right. So
yes.
How long has he been playing for?
6 seasons.
Oh, I thought it's been 3 or 4.
Nah. He was somewhat quiet for his first 2 or 3, but he's kicked it pretty good for the past 3 or 4, winning a championship.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I think triple doubles, I've been saying this for probably a few months now, that triple doubles are going to be more common in these next few years than they've ever been.
I mean, we're getting Luka Doncic dropping 50-point triple doubles.
I know. But the more points you score, the less rebounds and assists you can get, if that makes sense.
Well, that's just assists.
Well, assists, not really rebounds. But assists.
Defensive rebounds you can kind of farm.
And then Steve Kerr gets a 2-year extension with the Warriors.
346 and 115 in his coaching career.
346 what?
Wins and 115 losses.
So that's good.
It's really good.
That's over a 75% winning percentage, which is any good on any level of sports or team. So it was kind of a no-brainer to sorry.
I'm a little surprised, I'm going to be honest, because they're not that good this year.
Yeah, they seem to be on the downward trajectory, the Warriors. So.
I think it's because Steph's kind of getting older and they don't really have a whole lot of... They have Draymond and...
I think
Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I think they got to start a rebuild. They got to start a rebuild, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, once all those players drop, you just start from the beginning and do it again?
And I think they'll give Kerr a season to try and see what he can do with a rebuild, and then after that,
so
move on.
Let me ask you guys, you know Steve Kerr's background?
He was a bull.
Yeah, he was.
With?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
They had beef.
Yeah.
He was with that whole team. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. We could finish this, but that's another team I want to talk. Okay, finish.
No.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
it. That's-
Yeah. So I don't think Steve Kerr is part of this, but all these players are mad about how they were interpreted in the Last Dance documentary. So they're doing this tour. They're starting in Australia because that's where one of the players lives now, and it's called the No Bull Tour. Or I don't know if it's going to be a show or a tour or what, but they're basically going to talk about the untold truth about the Last Dance, the documentary, because they were portrayed as like bad guys, like, and this and that, and they're going on this tour called the No Bull, obviously because of the Bulls and BS. But
So-
I thought that was really cool.
They're Bulls teammates? Jordan's
Yeah.
teammates?
That were portrayed badly in the Last Dance.
Do you know any of the guys going on that tour?
Probably
I could-
Scotty, Steve probably is going on there. He had a bad rep in Last Dance.
Steve did?
I'm pretty sure.
Huh. I don't remember that.
'Cause didn't he have beef with like MJ and they like blew it way out of proportion or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horace Grant was
Oh,
definitely.
okay.
Pippen is going to be on this tour. Australia. Okay, so here this week's. Sorry. They have those players, and in Australia, they're going to share their side of the story. The live tour titled No Bull began Friday, February 23rd in Australia, and will head to Melbourne and Sydney coming over the next week. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's whining alert. Sounds like to me. It's
Yeah, well, I think that The Last Dance did so successful, and they didn't really get the credit for it, that they're going to try to make their own kind of thing. But we'll see what happens with it. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it'll go big.
That was a very good documentary, though. I
Yeah.
really,
It was
really got better as it went along.
I'm gonna look up the top documentaries of all time. It's up. It's got to be up there.
Top sports documentaries, definitely.
The documentary.
And it's amazing they had all that footage and all that.
Yeah.
Very good stuff.
Yeah, I can't find out any like.
Sports documentaries, it's probably top 10.
It's got to be the best sports documentary of
Yeah.
all time. Most successful, at least. But is that it for NBA? I just want to talk about that real quick. I saw
What
that.
do you think about the All-Star game? 212 points?
It's like 189 or something like that.
If you picked the under, you were missing out. It was like over under. I forget.
Like
210?
180? No. It was like, yeah. No, it was 346 or
Oh,
something like
it was something like that. I know it hit way over.
that. Yeah.
Check out our Instagram. I know I made a little graphic about that after the game.
And Jaylen Brown jumping over a guy sitting down while Mac McClung's jumping over Shaq.
Every player in that game, I think, I looked at the box score briefly. Every player attempted a three-pointer. It was just...
Well, Dame made 2 from half court.
So what was your question? Sorry, you asked this question. We kind of got off topic.
About what? The Last Dance?
No. You said I forget.
The All-Star game?
Oh yeah, the All-Star game. So yeah, I think that the 3-point contest with Sabrina and Steph did really well. Again, we talked about this last podcast. I think there could have been some stuff that were different. Like, you know how the court was LED lights? So like you could have made one side WNBA with WNBA basketballs for Sabrina and Steph with their NBA.
That you don't understand. She wanted to shoot from NBA. She wanted to. She said, "I want to." They did not make her.
I think they were gonna. Again,
She wanted to.
I think
she
to
said
make
that
it fair.
twice. She said before, like at the beginning when they first announced it, she wanted to.
yeah, we'll see.
She did not want
I guess
to.
we'll not see, but. But I do think that event went really well. I think that the NBA really did good marketing that and portrayed that how they were marketing it. And then the All-Star game, obviously no defense, just points after points after points after points. 3-point contests, or the dunk contest, sorry, I think did really well jumping over Shaq.
That did not do well. You had guys jumping over a sitting down guy.
No, Shaq. I'm saying the one.
Yeah, 1 or 2 dunks was good, but it wasn't that good.
I think the one over Shaq was good. The other ones I.
There was 2 over Shaq.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but like 2 dunks.
What were your
for a
thoughts
dunk
on the
contest.
All-Star game?
I didn't even watch I didn't watch any of it.
Oh.
I didn't watch the dunk contest, 3-point contest. I was interested in the 3-point contest, but
Yeah.
it's who won that, by the way? I didn't.
Damian Lillard.
You did?
Yeah, Dame won that.
Well, what about
Back-to-back.
the Steph versus
Steph won it by
Steph won
2.
by 2 points.
So it was a one-on-one?
Yeah, it was a
Those two?
one-on-one.
Yep.
You think Caitlin Clark could beat?
The thing about doing Sabrina and Caitlin against like Steph and Dame, which I think would be cool, but I think Steph and Dame would win. I don't know by how much, but I think it would be close. But I think Dame and Steph would beat Caitlin and Sabrina.
I don't think Caitlin has the experience of WNBA.
Yeah, but she'll have like
We'll see. Again, college and professional sports are very different.
Yeah.
And you'll see guys that are great in college but not so good in like the actual professional sport.
Jamarcus Russell,
Exactly.
Johnny Manziel.
But I know that WNBA and women's college basketball is close to the same talent-wise. Maybe not. Maybe
So
I'm.
you don't think she'll make it? In the
No, I'm not saying
WNBA?
that. I'm just saying I don't think she has the experience of being in the WNBA. I think that she'll need a year or two to actually get comfortable, and we'll see what happens from there.
Especially if they make her shoot from the NBA line. Yeah. She has no chance shooting from the NBA line until she practices more.
Yeah. Is there anything else at all? All right. So this is our segment called Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? Oh,
That was not loud.
Yeah, that volume was low. 1 second. We'll do that again. We're on to Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? There we go. So we always end off the podcast with a segment called Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? And this today, we are going to do Kentley Jansen. We think that he has portrayed enough where he might make it to the Hall of Fame. He might not. He's a 4-time All-Star, 2-time Reliever of the Year, and obviously 2020 World Series champion.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, well, because Rob Manfred sucks at doing his job.
Mickey Mouse.
So what we do is we look at his stats. He has a career WAR of, 20.5 across 14 seasons. As a reliever, he had the most saves in 2017 and 2022.
But he had 47 saves in like 2016.
Yeah, 47
That
saves.
was third place.
And then he had the most, I don't even know what category that is. Games finished in 2020 and 2022. So with these stats known, do you think Kenley Jansen will make the Hall of Fame?
I'm a nay on that.
You're an A on that?
Yeah, I just don't. There's so many good relievers, through the course of the year. Granted, he is one of the top ones of this era.
Yep.
But there's other relievers, in recent past that aren't in the Hall of Fame, and it's so tough for a reliever to make the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that part. Yeah. So
And I just don't think he's not the dominant. He is a great reliever, no question about it. Solid as can be, but he's not dominant.
Yeah.
So Michael, what are your thoughts?
I feel like it's getting easier and easier to make the Hall of Fame.
Which is very unfortunate in my opinion.
It's very unfortunate, but every year that goes by, I feel like it's easier and easier to get into the Hall of Fame. Especially if you're like a first-year guy, it gets easier and easier. So that's why I do think Kenley Jansen will go to the Hall of Fame.
Do you think he deserves to?
If he plays like 2 more seasons with 35-plus saves, then yes. But until then, no.
So Kenley Jansen was with the Dodgers. He had a series in Colorado, and he had some heart issues. He had to get like heart surgery and stuff like that. After that, he was never the same for the Dodgers. But before that, he was the best reliever I've seen in my life. But after that, he had a decline, and then he's been traded with the Braves and Red Sox and all of that. But I do think with what Micah said with the, what were we saying?
Getting easier to the Hall
Yeah,
of Fame.
it's easier to get into the Hall of Fame. But what you said is there's so many good relievers that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I do think that he'll be in the Hall of Fame just because it does get easier and easier. Do I think he should? Probably not, unless he plays a few more seasons and does really well. But I do think that he will make the Hall of Fame. I think he's very borderline, if that makes sense. But
It'll be close.
Yeah, he's definitely borderline would be a good way to
2-time
describe it.
reliever of the year, 4-time All-Star, and
Yeah, four-time All-Stars all. That's
But
not that
2-time
many
reliever of the year. That's also
yeah.
what I'm
So
looking at.
All-Stars we don't really count as All-Stars.
I never look at All-Stars in any sport. Never. Especially football.
But I'm gonna go with yay. So Hall of Fame yay or nay, Kenley Jansen, Micah.
Yay.
Nay.
I'm gonna go with
He's
yay.
in. He's in.
He's in. HatTrick Sports Hall of Fame. Kenley Jansen is in. Congratulations, if he's watching this. But do you guys want to talk about anything else before we cut it? All right. Thank you guys for watching the 35th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out shophattricksports.com for some comfortable shirts, hats, and more apparel. And we'll see you guys next week. All right.